So a lot of people are very concerned about why you need to save this driving data for up to 7 years. Can you just talk?
Sure. I mean, first of all, we're in the toll business, right? We're not in the speed business. We're not in the spy business. We're in the toll business. By hanging on to the information for 7 years, it ensures that we're going to make sure that people pay their tolls. So in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire and Maine, and hopefully some more states coming online, if you don't pay your tolls, if you're a pay-by-play customer, you don't have a transponder, you don't pay, you go to the registry of motor vehicles to re-register your vehicle or renew your driver's license, we can put a hold on those transactions and say, hey, you need to go to MassDOT and pay your tolls. Normally what people will do is say, what are you talking about? I never drove in Massachusetts, I don't know what you're talking about. We need to be able to produce a document to prove that you were there at that time so that the information that we're sending you on the invoice is matched by other evidence to prove that you owe the taxpayers of the Commonwealth money.
So who during that time has access to that information?
So our private vendor and us only. And it's important to remember that, we've been doing a fast lane now for some 14 years in the Commonwealth and 2 years on the Tobin Bridge of all electronic tolling. So I do like to think we have a little bit of a track record of making sure that people's information is secure and it's kept secure. And also, I think Mayor Sullivan pointed out, we're a little late to this all electronic tolling party. And I'm not disparaging anybody in the past, but so far, I think that people have done a really good job of hanging on to people's personal information, and we intend to carry that forward. The last thing that we want is to provide a service that we can't stand behind, and we're confident that we can stand behind this.
Now, you had mentioned that if someone had an easy pass, their data would only be stored for 3 months?
So it depends upon different scenarios that was shared with the Records Retention Board yesterday. So after 3 months, and we can validate the transaction and we no longer need it, it'll be purged. The whole goal of all of it is to purge the information as quickly and as safely as we can. For example, I know that people wanted to talk about, well, why are you videotaping vehicles as well? Again, that's to make sure that the people are getting the bills that they deserve so that we can confirm the amount of axles on a vehicle, because a 5-axle vehicle pays more than a 2-axle vehicle. So you need the information on which to do that. And quite frankly, and again, this is the industry and the people that do this for a living, and new to Massachusetts for sure, other than the Tobin Bridge. And I recognize people's concerns and their right to be concerned, but this is not anything new. So many other states provide the same type of service, collect the same information and guidance from them, our Corporation Council and the Records Retention Board. We feel that we have a good system in place to preserve and to protect the data and then to purge it as soon as we can.
Any other questions besides data retention? Any other questions
on the new rates? How does reducing the cost of traveling the turnpike by 65 cents comport with the governor's executive order to really address climate change and emissions and that kind of thing?
Well, I appreciate the question, and I understand the correlation of it, but this is about toll equity, and it's ensuring that the amount of revenue raised now goes back onto the roadway, but you don't want to overburden one portion of the population with maintaining that full dollar amount. So by spreading it out and decreasing it where we could, I think what we're saying is that nobody is paying an undue burden, that everybody is paying a reasonable rate. We were very proud to be working with Senator Spilker's office in her capacity as both the legislator and the chair of Ways and Means, that really kind of got the fact that, hey, it shouldn't just be Metro West that's paying an increase, try to share that thing around. But when you go from 26 locations to 16, basic math will tell you it can't be the same rate today as it will be post-implementation of the program. And I do think it's lost on this, and I'm hoping some of you will share it, is that this program has always been about 3 things: public safety, congestion management, and air quality. Right? You increase air quality by having a system like this, and you're not making people start and stop. The same is true for congestion, and the same is true for public safety, where studies have shown 60% more likely of a rear-end crash at a tolling location than on open road. So we're proud of the program. It's nice to be getting our tolling system into the 21st century.
I know that still remains an issue. People who are not paying their fair share. How does this system, how does this system ensure that people are paying their fair share if there's still 1 million notices that were sent out last year for people who didn't pay?
So, I think you have to look at the aggregate, right? It's similar to a parking ticket. at every snapshot in time, somebody owes a parking ticket, they don't pay it right away. So when we send out a pay-by-plate bill, there's a lag between when somebody pays it and somebody doesn't. But the important number is look at the Tobin Bridge. So pay-by-plate for 2 years, we collect between 95 and 96% of all monies owed to the taxpayers on our existing pay-by-plate program. Our saturation rate for transponders is 85% on the Tobin. Which started at 63% when the program was first implemented. We're starting off around a 73% saturation rate for transponders in the Turnpike. So we feel that not only will we meet 85%, but probably increase and blow by that number.
So
Thanks very much.
Toll rates changing. You were talking in there about how some gantries would be less. It sounded a little complicated for a while. No, I've been here for a while.
So I can give you the printout. So what it was, we presented to August 22nd, we presented to the board a proposal that we then went out and did 7 public hearings. The Metro West and Newton Framingham area was seeing a disproportionate amount of the increase. So under the original proposal, 53% of our Easy Pass Mass Transponder customers either saw their toll rate go the same or go down. Under this scenario, that number goes to 63%. Again, helping us to achieve not only revenue neutrality, which was one of the goals, but also some fairness in how we apply that to make sure that we still have enough money throughout the system to do what we need to do on the road, fix the guardrail, the potholes, capital construction, police it, and all the other things that we need to do on a daily basis.
Thanks, Administrator. Appreciate your time, and we'll have those.